and processes that enable the organization to undertake effective actions. How does the organization work on an operational and management basis? Operational basis is on a day-to-day basis, and management basis is on a sort of mid-level managerial basis. It's different from governance. Governance is at the board level. But usually, people want to know, grant makers are always worried that small organizations may not be capable at operational and definitely at management level. So please satisfy them, show them. And where instances where you have a gap now, clearly identify that here's the gap and how that gap would be filled in. And the gap may be filled in by the support they're giving you. So identify it so that they know exactly that you know what the project would entail. Also give highlights of your track record and achievements in the project implementation. Sometimes there's a distinct question on this. Remember, it is highlights. So you have to make a decision as to all of the successes you have. You need to pick the ones you think would most impress them. If you try to just list all of them, it won't work for you. Because it's like having a small frame and then you fill it up with text. Nothing would stand out. And again, we're judging you that you are not able to pick out what you think is more important. So you need to make a decision. A decision like that is, then we cannot advise you beyond you deciding what would be the relevant examples. When I told you about how unemployable I am. At one point when I was in my early 20s, a friend of mine suggested that it would be a good idea for me, because when he saw my CV, he was horrified. Because what I did, he said, give me your CV, I give it to him, and it was just a list of everything I've ever done and every course I've ever studied. He said to me, this is horrendous. I said, but it's all true. He said to me, a CV is not a statement of fact. I said, what? I thought it was a statement of fact. He said, no, it's a marketing document, which was a revelation to me. He said, some of these things you are telling me is not relevant to, say, this assignment or this contract. He said, it's true, but it's irrelevant. So I said, well, then that means I have to have many CVs. He said, yes. So, that to me was trouble. I thought, well, CV is statement of fact, but it's not. So you have to have many CVs to apply, choose the examples that are relevant to the contract you're trying to get or the job. Similar. Think about, and again, this allows you to reference back the grant maker, what they're interested in. Maybe even look, most of the grant makers would have a showcase of samples of funds or projects they've funded. That may give you an idea. And again, this linkage to make a connection with them. So choose your projects judiciously, wisely, because you only have one time to make a first impression. Yeah?